Hi and welcome to my screencast about the content of the HSC French Beginners syllabus. So this is where we get into the nitty-gritty of and the detail of what's actually in the syllabus, and from that what you can expect to cover in the 2 years of the course. Okay, so let's start looking at the topics that are prescribed in the syllabus. These topics are in two areas. You've got the personal world, and then you've also got the French-speaking communities, and they lead into these topics here. So it's worth knowing when you go to do your oral exam, that will be based purely on the personal world topics, things to do with you. It's a really good idea to use the topics given here to organise your notes, and just to use that as a study technique. So within the 2 years, at different times throughout the 2 years, you will look at family life, people, places and communities, education and work, friends, recreation and pastimes, holidays, travel and tourism, future plans and aspirations. Now, for some people that might be a textbook based, and for others it might just be done in other ways, not using a textbook. There isn't a specific prescribed textbook that covers the syllabus as such, so you can never expect to find a textbook that has every single thing that you need in it, and textbooks shouldn't be used in place of the syllabus. That's what you need to keep checking on. Okay, so they're the topics. Within that, then you have different text types that you will be required to understand and to read. So those for receptive or reading use will not be prescribed, so they could be anything. It says students are encouraged to read, view and listen to a wide range of texts, including authentic texts. That's very important. Authentic texts. So there's so much out there online at the moment that's authentic, that's current, that you should be accessing, and that will certainly improve your knowledge of vocab and just what the culture is like, the country is like at the moment, far beyond anything that you can find in a textbook. So really do look for authentic texts. But you may be expected to produce the following written texts in the external examination. So they do give you a list of texts that you may have to write. So it's really important at some stage throughout your course that you learn the structure of the following text types, so you know how to set it out, and you know the structure that it will have. Okay, so you may need to write an article, you might need to write a message, a diary or a journal entry, a note, an email, a postcard, an informal letter, or the script of a talk to an audience. So some of those are more structured than others, so do make sure that you learn, for example, what an informal letter might look like. That's got a fairly obvious structure. Okay, so let's move on to the next bit, which is grammar. Now, I've got all the grammar from the syllabus in this screencast. I won't read out all the examples, but I will go through the different items because it's fairly prescribed and specific, which is good because it means that you can ensure that you have notes on each of these different aspects of the syllabus. As I mentioned before, if you follow a textbook, those grammar points may come up at different times and not necessarily follow the structure of the syllabus, so it's really good. Perhaps you've got a paper copy of the syllabus, what you can do is just tick off a particular thing when you think you've covered it in class and when you've got study notes on that item of grammar. So we start with nouns, and you need to know about the idea of gender of nouns and how to form plurals. Then you also need to be aware of articles. You need to know how to use them: definite, indefinite, contracted with a, contracted with de, the partitive article with a negative and omission. Adjectives is a big one. You can see there's a lot of different types of adjectives, so you'd really need to get a good and clear understanding of how to use adjectives in French, because they do behave differently from what how we use them in English. So agreement of adjectives, you need to know about demonstrative, possessive adjectives, position, where you actually put the adjective in the sentence, numbers, approximation, ordinal numbers, comparative and superlative adjectives. Adverbs, simple adverbs, those ending in mon, and irregular adverbs. Verbs is another huge area that requires a lot of methodical and consistent work, because there are a lot of different verb forms that you need to be able to use and understand. So present tense, futur proche, future, conditional, perfect, common reflexive, imperfect, a verb followed by an infinitive, the imperative, and the subjunctive. Now, the subjunctive, you only need to know a couple of standard uses of that, not every single one, so that's something that will come later in the course. Okay, so in this series I've done a few different screencasts regarding the syllabus, the introduction, the objectives and outcomes, this one about content, and one on assessment. And also you can find different screencasts that I've done that will help you with building skills in reading, writing and interacting, strategies in vocabulary and grammar, learning those, and advice on how to approach your oral exam and the written exam. So merci et bon courage. My name's Fiona Bowie and my email address is bowieeducation@gmail.com, or on Twitter at FionaR_B, and my blog frenchclassroom.wordpress.com. Thank you.